Hey there, everybody. So this is Marley with the Geek XP. I just wanted to give you guys a quick warning. Our video kept cutting out about 5 minutes in when we were trying to do our review. So this review for Wonder Woman is sadly going to be a audio only. I apologize for anybody who wanted to watch it, but this was the only way that we could get it out. Next time, I promise we'll be on camera. So anyway, enjoy the review. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Geek XP and to another movie review, a very special movie review for Wonder Woman, tink, tink, the very much anticipated movie in the DC Cinematic Universe.
The savior of the DC Universe,
Yes.
mayhaps.
We are 3 movies in.
This is the fourth one.
This is the 4th one.
Yeah.
The other 3, not critically received so well.
Man of Steel, I liked. Other 2 were Batman v Superman and
Suicide
Squad.
Squad?
Bad, just bad movies.
Really bad, yeah. So people were really anxious about Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
She was the thing people walked away from BVS saying that there was like the one thing that a lot of people really liked.
The few positives.
So there was a lot riding on this movie.
Yeah.
And I think we're both very much happy to deliver that it delivers.
Yep. We're not going to be doing any spoilers in this review, guys, but we can say up front that this is probably the best out of the new DC movies, same cinematic universe.
Yeah.
It's the best one out of the 4.
So right away, the thing I liked the most was, or maybe not even the most, but something about it that I really liked is this movie kind of succeeded for me where Man of Steel failed.
Okay.
And that Diana grew as a person by the end of this movie. And her character changed, whereas the Superman we've gotten so far has basically been the same person in both movies.
Yes.
And when he inevitably comes back from the dead, I'm guessing at the end of Justice League.
He's not dead?
Carson. Man, I'm gonna blow your mind. When he comes back to life I'm guessing at the end of Justice League, I have a feeling he's gonna still very much be kind of the same.
You know, I hope he's not. And from some of the things that I've heard, Zack Snyder, he's not a part of Justice League anymore,
Correct.
but he was a big part of it.
Yeah.
And he was saying little things about how he might be a little different after the resurrection.
Even
and stuff.
broodier.
I hope not.
No. But that's, for me, what I loved the most about this movie is Diana had a very satisfying character arc that, while exposed her to some of the horrors of the world that she was shielded from on Themyscira, didn't totally destroy her. And that hopeful nature that Wonder Woman represents for a lot of people.
Yeah. I kind of found it very refreshing to see her not be afraid to use her powers.
Yeah.
She was always looking for basically an excuse to use her powers.
Yeah.
And Trevor,
Steve
Trevor, he was constantly trying to rein her back a few times, but when she finally was able to unleash her power, it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And Man of Steel, I never really felt like I was getting Superman until the end of the movie when he's going to Duke Fest with Zod. But he's always questioning if he should do stuff, and she's never questions
pondering
anything.
his place in the world. Yeah, she's proud to be an Amazon, and she's not scared to show it, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Full marks to Chris Pine and Gal Gadot.
Great chemistry.
Both of them have great chemistry. Gal Gadot in particular, a lot of people were worried about her acting ability. She comes from the Fast and Furious franchise, or that's what most people know her for.
Yeah.
And obviously the content in those movies doesn't lend itself to a great thespian performance.
No.
But I'm really happy to report that she totally embraced this character. Everything about her, the naivete, the fiercefulness, the gentle side of her, she really embraced all of it. And I can't picture anyone else playing this character.
I kind of enjoy her accent too.
Yeah.
It's a nice, flavor to her character.
Yeah.
And, that was just kind of I was like, Themyscira, I don't know what this place is, but I know it's foreign. And hearing that accent, I was like, that kind of like fits in my head.
Well, it immediately made her and the Amazons like exotic and like foreign, like they come from this far off place.
Yeah.
And that's another positive thing I wanted to bring up. The stuff on Themyscira was really, really cool.
Yes.
They developed like this. The Amazons have their own way of fighting, which was like super visually interesting. Like every time they were on screen or Diana was fighting, it was really cool to watch.
So when we're talking about choreography and stuff, the Amazons and Wonder Woman, they're very active.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was like a certain amount of skill. We got that from Batman a little bit in Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
But it was like very limited.
Yeah.
Superman just punches and flies. Which, it makes sense because he's a young Superman.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to fight.
He doesn't know how to fight, and he's been holding back his powers his whole life.
Yeah.
But still, it's cool to see that. Like, I just haven't been fully satisfied on the DC side in terms of fighting until this movie.
Yeah. And I think the fighting in BVS and in Man of Steel is all very similar, which is understandable. It's the same character, it's the same director. But this just felt so fresh.
Yeah.
Like, it was visually so different from anything I've seen in not just a DC movie, but like Marvel movies too. Like, it was just a very different way to tackle combat.
Yeah.
Which made it really cool and really fun to watch and follow along with.
Yep.
Let's get into some of our criticisms
okay.
of the movie. And I will say for me, I think the villains are the worst part. Not that there are too many of them at all.
Because that was a complaint. I've heard a few people say there's too many villains. And I didn't really get that too much. Like, it didn't bother me.
Yeah, it didn't bother me either. I just felt the villains were very lame. Without saying too much, I'll bring up the two that you do see in the trailer, which are the German commander and Dr. Poison.
Yeah.
Cool that she's in there. That's like a super deep Wonder Woman cut. But they both were just so maniacally, cartoonishly bad.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean bad as an evil. That, it's easy to hate them because it's the Germans in World War I, of course. Mm-hmm. But other than that, there wasn't too much depth to any of them.
Yeah, very one-dimensional, for sure.
Yeah, and the other villain who we won't reveal or anything, but they just don't have enough time to make an impact.
Yeah.
So, and that's not a problem exclusive to Wonder Woman. I think everyone would agree the villains in BVS were lame. And the villains in Suicide Squad were lame. And the villains in Marvel movies aren't typically great.
Sure, but I think at least Marvel villains have some wit to them.
Yeah.
And they're like kind of interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
And in BVS, I think they were trying to do some of that and it just failed super hard.
Yeah.
This one, at least they didn't try and maybe like bat ahead of themselves, like go too far and like go crazy. Like, it is kind of unfortunate that the villains weren't that interesting. It could have been worse.
And that's true. And I think the movie makes up for that by also having this antagonist that's not necessarily a person, but it's this fight Diana has within herself with, are humans naturally like this?
Yeah.
And I think that's more like, to be like weird and metaphorical and stuff, I think that's more so the villain than any of the actual antagonists. And thankfully that part delivers. Mm-hmm. And which is, at the end of the day, the most important part, because the movie's not going to hinge on Dr. Poison. The movie in the future of the franchise hinges on Diana.
Yeah.
So they more than delivered on that part. So, like, some lame villains, but not really enough to super take away from my enjoyment.
Yeah. We talked, when we did our review for King Arthur Legend of the Sword, there was some really bad CG in some of the fight scenes.
Yeah.
Rubber Man, basically, which is common in, like, early 2000s when CG wasn't that great and they just motion blurred a lot of things.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of that in this movie in some of the action scenes with Wonder Woman. It's not as bad as King Arthur for the few people that saw that movie.
Yeah.
But it's still noticeable.
Yeah.
And it was kind of annoying, but like that's not a huge issue at all.
Yeah.
Just something that stood out a little bit.
And then another small beef I had, and this is minor, the final act, or maybe like the last big hurrah, the big fight, kind of felt a little dragged out for me.
Okay.
You know, it just kind of got to a point where I was like, okay, like I know what's gonna happen. Let's get to the point. Let's wrap this up. That being said, there's so much more that I enjoyed about this that totally like outweighs all of that stuff I just brought up for me.
Sure.
So we have our first successful DC Cinematic Universe movie. Carson, what are you rating it out of 5?
Okay, so as I said before, I think this is a better film than Man of Steel. And I like Man of Steel.
Yeah.
But I think I would give Man of Steel like a 3 out of 5. I would give this probably a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think I'm sitting at a solid 4 out of 5 too.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the franchise going forward. They've already announced that Patty Jenkins has signed on to direct the second one.
Okay, good.
So Wonder Woman seems to be in good hands. And this movie honestly did a lot for me for Justice League. I'm kind of excited about Justice League now.
Yeah, don't underplay that at all because I had almost like no hope for Justice League after Batman v Superman. This gives me a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
That hopefully at least one of the characters can be successful on screen in that movie. Hopefully the rest of them are successful too, but I don't know.
We'll have to wait and see. But what we think's not the important part. What's important is what you guys think. So let us know in the comment section below what you thought of Wonder Woman. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you excited for Justice League now? We want to hear from you guys. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm rebellious_Ewok Carson.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter at Carson_Save and here on the Geek XP on YouTube.
So make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.